Wanted to stop you real quick before you get into today's video. Wanted to let you guys know that our Black Friday sale over on TannerHolmes.com is now live. Tons of discounts on hoodies, hats, t-shirts, long sleeves, wing panels, and other memorabilia, and the sale is gonna last until Friday at midnight. Go check it out. Let's get into today's video. Well, I gotta start the video off by asking, what do you guys think of our upgrade? We decided to go with simple and plain, and honestly, I really like how it turned out. Black body, just like I purchased it, with some red anodized components, and then also we have white stickers. So earlier this week when I showed you guys the current state of the car, it did need some work, but it actually was in pretty good condition. When I purchased it, it was a complete roller. Still needed to put an engine on, had to put my seat in, and had to put the wing together. And then a couple of other small jobs. So my father and I put in quite a few hours between Monday and Wednesday this week in the shop because we wanted to go racing this weekend. And now it is all finished up. And there's just something about this car when I look at it that just feels different. And I can't really pinpoint what it is, but I think part of it has to go to the fact that, for example, my dad owns the engine on the side of this thing, but I myself own the car. I've been working hard over these last couple of years and putting a ton into my racing program as well as everyone else that supports me, and this will officially be the first time that I get to drive my own equipment that I own myself. And it just turned out beautiful. So quick tour of the race car. The engine that we have on the side is a KTM 450. Fuel injected, very, very nice. Has won quite a few races up at the Roseburg Indoor. And the car itself is an old Factory QRC house car, a 2020 Spitfire. This thing is just legitimately really, really nice. Another update that I've never, ever had on the car that my family owned was one of QRC's big wings. These things came out probably about a year and a half ago. And compared to the old style wing, these have larger panels on both sides. It's pretty obvious, especially with this left side panel, but also the right side panel is moved down and the left side is moved up compared to the older ones. And all those adjustments that they made are probably even more obvious now. This wing is from like 2014 or 2015, and I ran it in the 250 days. Just look at how tiny this right side panel is, and the left side's really not that big either. And then you can tell by looking at the wing struts and the belly, this thing has been absolutely hammered. My dad's trying to convince me to sell this car with the wing on top, but I think we need to keep it. There's just so many memories involved with their different wraps and cars that we've ran throughout the years. And since obviously we can't keep every single car that I've ran, I think, I at least want to keep a top wing or a panel or something to kind of remind me of all those races we got to run with that car and during those years. But back to the car, like the sticker says here, Burris Racing. So all four corners have Burris Racing tires on them. One of the major updates on this car is I have a new Joe's Racing Products steering wheel in it. This thing is brand new, extremely light, and you can see that red lizard skin baseball bat tape that I added on there. And a huge shout out to Joe's Racing Products for sending me that steering wheel. It was, well, you can be the judge, but it was time for a new one. I made a video on this steering wheel about a year ago, but I love this thing so much and I just didn't really want to get an upgrade, but I finally decided it was probably about time. This is another one of those things where you just hold on to. I talked about, wanting to keep that wing, but this steering wheel I will never get rid of. I ran this thing for probably the last like 6 or 7 seasons. I've had it since about 2013, 2014. My beginning days in a 250 and getting into a 500 racing at Cycland, Red Bluff, winning tons of features. So I'm not really superstitious, or even like I always tell people when I sit in a go-kart, I'm not super picky about many things. Like if I were to hop in someone's race car, I could adjust to the pedals, the seatbelts, all that. But the one thing I always did if I went anywhere or when I ran the Factory QRC QRC house cart, I brought my steering wheel because I just needed this thing. So that is just a little bit of a fun fact about myself. Once again, big shout out to Joe's Racing Products for hooking me up with the new steering wheel. I'll put a link to the exact same one that I run in the house cart, the exact same one I have in here, down in the description down below if you'd like to check them out. They're super light, they're simple, I just love them. I throw a little bit of grip tape on them like I showed you, and they last for years. One last thing though I did want to talk about is why we decided to go with simple, just a black body with stickers on it. So this has a little bit of a story to it. So when I went down to QRC like a week and a half ago to pick up this go-kart, put it in the back of my truck, and I was just getting ready to leave while I was chatting with my car owner, Jimmy, and he was kind of telling me how he was cleaning out the shop and trying to get everything ready for when we came back in about a week to start Red Bluff here at the beginning of December. And he mentioned since he had tons of extra stickers from previous house carts throughout the last 5 years when I've been driving for him, he said, hey, if you want like an 18T or something, I probably have some. I could send it home with you. And I was like, of course, because no matter what, I wanted to go simple with this car because it just doesn't really run enough to put a brand new expensive wrap on it. There's just really no reason to be flashy because I just run it at Roseburg a little bit in the winter and then any other big shows that pop up when I have a chance to run. And all those stickers that Jimmy thought he had, he didn't actually have because like I said, he was going through and cleaning a bunch of stuff out. So the previous week he had thrown a bunch of it away, but he had one wrap left in his office. So we walked in there and it happened to be the wrap from last year's house carts that we ran at Red Bluff. And it obviously never got put on a car. So he just sent that all home with me and he said, hey, you can take what stickers out of it you want to use, and if you don't want to use other stuff, you can. So I decided to not put the whole thing on. I just wanted to keep it simple, so we put the Durst Incorporated, Adams Investing, obviously the Factory QRC. We got the numbers, and then we got Burris Racing Tire and Holmes. Nothing on the hood, and then of course the other wing panel is just the same thing. And then you can't forget we have our tail numbers, which are a little difficult to put on, and you can see my dad was struggling a little bit when he attempted to. So I know there's not a lot to it, and that's actually why at the end of this last video I said, hey, what color should we do? What wrap should we do? Because I was kind of attempting to throw you guys off thinking we'd have this crazy wrap, and then we come out simple, black with some white stickers, and in my opinion, it actually looks really good. But I think that pretty much sums it up for the tour of this go-kart. The only other thing we have to do to prepare for this weekend is to load the 18T in the trailer. Well, the trailer is all loaded up and ready for 2 nights of racing up north. So obviously it is much later in the day than when I shot those last clips. As I was finishing those up, my family started to arrive here at the house for Thanksgiving. So we just went and did that. Absolutely love this holiday and specifically the food. So to all the viewers watching, hopefully you and your family had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. So now that we finished that, I just decided to come down here to our little go-kart trailer, get it all loaded up. Got my gear bag, Carly's gear bag, my new carbon helmet, which I'm going to be ripping this weekend. Then we got all of our tires, of course the 18T, the quad, our bike that now we've been bringing to Roseburg, and the stand. Should be a great time. We got 2 complete shows this weekend for the 2021 Turkey Shootout. Friday is going to pay $500 to win, and then Saturday is going to pay $1,000 to win as long as they get 25 cars, which it's looking like that is definitely going to happen. A ton of guys from California are coming up, along with a lot of locals here in Oregon. So as usual, the Thanksgiving show at Roseburg will be exciting, and it's going to be a tough one with a lot of competition. But also this weekend for our family is the end and a new beginning. The end of this car being in our program and us taking it to the races, but I know that it's going to be going to a much better home where it's once again going to be used and create so many memories for that family. And then of course the beginning, this new go-kart that I purchased that is pretty much an exact copy of the car I run down in Red Bluff, California for Factory QRC. So with the 4-stroke on the side, it should be a great weekend. We're going to get to battle with Carly, a lot of NorCal guys, as well as all the Roseburg locals. But that is going to end today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on the new go-kart. Other than that, we are headed north chasing $1,500 and 2 A main event wins this weekend.